Papalotes team. My name is Mauricio and my teammate Wilbert.
Well, for introducing the topic, the Berlin Wall fell on November 9, in the year of 1989, exactly in the east of Germany. This event symbolized the end of the Cold War. This because Germany, for almost 30 years, the Berlin Wall had divided not only a city, but also the world into two sides, the communist East and the democratic West.
But before talking about the fall, we have to understand why the war existed in the first place. After World War II, Germany was divided in four zones controlled by the United States, the United Kingdom, France, and Soviet Union. Berlin, even if it was inside the Soviet zone, was also divided the same way.
Yeah, and the problem was that a lot of people from the east side that was communist started escaping to the west side because life there was better and they had more freedom, better jobs opportunities, and uh, better things than the other side. So to stop few people from leaving the country, the Soviet government and East Germany decided to build a wall in the 1961.
Imagine that, like one day you wake up and your city is divided with barbed wire, soldiers, and concrete walls. Families were separated, friends couldn't see each another anymore, and people were even killed if they tried to cross.
Well, it's crazy to think that something like this happened like in the past, and people just had to live like that for almost 30 years, and it's a lot. So when the wall finally fell, it was more than just a physical thing breaking down, like the wall falling down. No, for the people, it was like hope finally coming back to millions of people that want like a better life in the other side. So yeah.
There of the most important aspect in the fall of the Berlin Wall is that the fall is remembered as a symbol of freedom from the people in Germany.
Also, it's considered like that because it ends the communist side in Eastern Europe and also end the Cold War.
As a fact, Germany reunified a year later, exactly on October 3, 1990, and also Germany joined the North Atlantic Treaty Organization after their reunification.
Another important thing is the fall of the wall inspired other countries in Eastern Europe to fight for freedom. Like it showed that the change, the change was possible and the governments couldn't control people forever.
Yeah, and now Berlin has a lot of art and museum about that to remember what happened and to teach new generation not to repeat the same mistakes.
We considered it so important to see like these historic events like in the other ways, in other visions. So like how we can do these things better, no? Like we see, yeah, the fall of the wall. It's like a symbol of maybe freedom and hope for a million of peoples like in that year. But why come to that point of we need to fight for this freedom?
Maybe things could have been different if the communication between the countries and the governments were better, like if they tried to understand more instead of fighting for power and control.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe if both sides had worked harder instead of separating people and building a wall, a lot of suffering could have been avoided, and families wouldn't have been divided for so many years.
What we would have done different is trying to promote unity since the beginning, not creating physical and ideological walls, because in the end, everyone wants peace and progress.
Well, if that happened, the world probably would have been a better place earlier with less tension and maybe, if we see in this way, more cooperation between nations.
I think sometimes humanity learns things the hard way, like we need to go through bad moments to finally realize what's really important.
Yeah, like freedom, respect, the communication, and the peace. These things are things like should never be taken for the people. Like these texts are literally like we need always this freedom, this respect. It's something always necessary to the people, like in a nation, like to have.
So if we imagine a world where the people had chose to cooperate instead of dividing, maybe there would have been a cold war at all, and technology, economy, and education could have advanced faster for everyone.
And also, people wouldn't have had to live in fear, thinking that at any moment something could happen because of political facts or these new nuclear threats. Like for me, it's like we live in constantly fear. Like a war starts and a nuclear fight is something that could destroy everything.
For the future generation, we hope people learn that division only brings pain, and that freedom and understanding are the real solution for a better world.
The Berlin Wall teaches us that no wall lasts forever. No matter if it is made of concrete or different ideas between people, at some point, people will always look for connection and hope.
And that's something beautiful about humanity, that even when things look impossible, people still believe that things can change.
Well, yeah, the fall of the Berlin Wall remind us how strong people can be when they fight for unity, for the respect, for the hope, and that's something we should never forget. So finally, thanks for listening, and we hope you like your presentation about this historic event that absolutely changed the world and how we see these things. Like the world is not only this physical world; it divides like different ideas, divide people. So we need to analyze this event, like see how we can don't repeat things like this. Like we need to see like we are a nation like Mexico, like how we invite these events. Like actually, Mexico is very like not in unit, like each divide like with these political factions like PAN, Morena, PRD, and these factions, if we name it like this, always see for himself and not for the people. So it's I say like it's important to see this in another way, like see for the peace. So thank you, teacher, for listening, and have a great day.